Yes, 8:43 a.m. and you're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM. It's time for Mainland Focus. This is the part where we select one or two major stories off the front pages of our papers and then open up the phone line for you to share your thoughts as regards to focal point of the day. Well, the major story across all of the papers this morning, of course, is cereal grid collapse, and that's why we are looking at that particular story this morning. What is the solution to the problems in the power sector? I'm not even going to ask how visible this 20-hour promise is by 2027. I'm not even going to look at that because that's about 2 years down the line. But the issue here is that we are having a serious problem, a grid collapse in the month of October. For example, in less than 48 hours we had the grid collapse about 2 to 3 times. So in less than 72 hours, 2 to 3 times. All right, and here we are now. The same thing has happened in the month of November. What exactly is the solution? The federal government has ordered an immediate implementation, or the federal government has ordered an implementation of the power, of the power committee. All right, the committee as regards what's going on in the power sector, and there's a lot of recommendations. I'm not going to take them again, but there's a lot of recommendations from short term to medium term to long term recommendations that have been made by this committee, some of which of course is a revamp, some of which of course is purchase of new equipment, because apparently aside from vandalization, which had been the major factor that has been talked about, or the most talked about factor as regards the national grid collapse, there's also the conversation around obsolete equipment as well. Okay, so replacement of obsolete equipment and all of that, so many things that have been recommended. But what exactly is the way forward as regards the power sector and the power grid, the serial grid collapse that we keep having? It is affecting a lot of businesses, and let's not forget the fact that a lot of businesses can't even afford fuel at this time now, so they're relying heavily on the power sector. And it's even the people who use solar are also complaining, because apparently there are some solar systems that you can't power or you can't charge with a generator. You need NEPA light to be able to charge it up. So it's a serious issue for a lot of people, as business people, for commercial use, and even individuals as well. And it's of course the major story across all of the papers this morning. The headline on the front page of the Punch: serial grid collapses, federal government orders overhaul as TCN fears more breakdown. That's another issue, because the TCN has said, yes, we are working on repairs, but of course, as we are working on repairs, this would, cause some instability. So this is not the last of the grid collapse. Okay, we are still going to experience even more grid collapses in the future, and that's coming from the Transmission Company of Nigeria. And then we also have here on the front page of Vanguard newspaper, blackout: why national grid collapse is unending, says experts. And then we have here, as National Assembly seeks an end to grid collapses as they backs the power sector reforms. Okay, there's actually a lot to take away from how Vanguard newspaper puts it, especially from experts. So let's just quickly take a look at what exactly the experts are saying. The second time in a week that we're having a grid collapse. So data from the National System Operator show that the grid is recovering from the collapse that occurred recently had peaked at about 4,000 or so megawatts on Wednesday, which is the lowest generation at 1,048. However, it's a gradual recovery, but then the frequent spike was caused by issues encountered at one of our TCN substations, which we had already taken earlier on. But very, very quickly, a top official in one of the leading power generation companies lamented that Gencos have incurred huge losses since frequent collapses began last month. He said, if you know how much we have lost commercially, you won't be asking. And that is not counting the damages done to our machines by the frequent shutdowns. Who will pay for the damages? Is it the TCN? The federal government already owes us so much. Is it NERC? Is it NBET? I can tell you that the industry is in a precarious situation, and it would collapse if nothing is done urgently to arrest these failures. So even within the power sector, the stakeholders are also not smiling. The stakeholders, the major stakeholders in the power sector, are also experiencing their own, pain one way or the other. All right. So that's why it's very, very important for us to talk about this. What exactly is the solution to this particular issue here? Executive Director Power Up Nigeria, Adetayo Adegbemle, said many factors culminate in system collapse, but these are very negatively impacting. It should be noted that system collapse occurs as a result of frequency variation when the pull from the consumer ends is sharply different from what generation can supply. So a system collapse is like what happens when you put on your generator in the house, but the load in the house surpasses the capacity that the generator can supply. The system collapse affects the GENCOs as it causes damage to the generating plants. What is the solution to our power problem in the country? We have moved from energy now.
This is a demonstration
or still in
of
energy. We have moved
Wirecast.
from the oil conversation, and now is power. So help us God. I'll start with Fuad, and then we go on to the phone line.
Well, Sandra, luckily there's a committee that has made recommendations, and nobody really would say that those recommendations are not reasonable, because again, like I said earlier in the morning, nothing new actually with those recommendations, because it's always been on the table. Really, we know what the problems are. The fact that look, that entire revamp we had from PHCN, when we had the power holding company to now, dividing the entire power sector value chain into three: generation, transmission, and distribution. I think the first problem was that people who had no business in that business, out of greed, took it over. That's the first problem. How are we going to be able to deal with that particular problem? I don't know, because again, if you understand what I'm saying, you understand that it's not as easy really to take off the hands of these guys from what they've been able to hijack. That's number one. Number two, the legal framework, the legislative framework, sorry, the Power Sector Act that now gives opportunity for states, to also generate, transmit, and distribute power. I think we now have to begin to look at the subnationals, why they are not taking advantage of how we've been able to move the power sector from the exclusive list into the concurrent list. Why are they not taking advantage of what has happened? If there are problems, can we discuss the problems? Can we look at the problems? Why the states are not so excited to take advantage of that particular law? Or when it comes to implementation, it's not so easy. Again, these are the conversations I think we should be asking ourselves. And then the other issue would be the level of investment we now need to put into the power sector. Because buying equipment, revamping these, fixing these, the transmission company too, I don't know whether we should keep it in the hand of the government. Because again, the ones that we put in the hand of the private sector, what are they doing with it? The distribution companies. It has not really changed anything. So at the end of the day, I think that the power minister, I'm not going to say he doesn't have what it takes really to run that ministry. But I think he needs to sit down a bit, calm down a bit, tone it down a bit, agree that there's a problem, stay away from this idea of wanting to impress anybody. Because I said it earlier, that the first step to solving the problem is also first accepting the enormity of the problem. And then get committed. Leave the headlines, leave the statement. All these 20 hours by 2027, we should leave it. Let's work with reality. Where are we? What is the problem? How can we realistically solve the issue? Not to begin to just this, like there was a great collapse. You say it was a trip-off. If he has that mindset, Sandra will not fix anything. So at the end of the day, the recommendations are there. What is lacking, I think, for me, is the commitment to doing the right thing. God bless Nigeria, Sandra.
Thank you very much, Said Fuad. 0913-6000-410. That is the number to call. 0913-6000-410 is the number to call to join the conversation this morning. For WhatsApp messages, the number is 0913-6000-430. 0913-6000-430. That is for WhatsApp messages. We are live on Facebook at Mainland 98.3 FM. We are live on YouTube at Mainland 98.3 FM. So you can drop so you can drop your comments in the live chat section, and we take them as the show progresses. Okay, so Facebook and YouTube at Mainland 98.3 FM. So as we go on, we take the messages. All right, so let's have a robust conversation this morning. If you're calling in, you have just 2 minutes, and please let's stick within the 2 minutes. Today is Friday. We have the luxury of an extended time, so would really appreciate if we can stick within that. And also, let's keep it clean. What are your thoughts as regards the power sector? What's the solution? What are your recommendations? Let's discuss. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Sandra. Good morning, John from Mogba.
You're welcome.
As regards the power, the collapse of the grid, honestly, as what I've just said, the grid is collapsing, but the national grid, that is GREED from the position, is decreasing. Honestly, if you ask me, those that have no experience, those that does not know anything about the power sector, are the one article Obasanjo so those sector too. And different times, bailouts has been provided funds for this power sector, but nothing good has come out of it. And honestly, I think the way to go is the state governors, that is the governors now, to begin to look for means of generating power within the state by their own, so and do away with the national grid. If they can do this, I think it is better. But I'm highly disappointed in Lagos State. Lagos State having the enormous IGR internal revenue and has not been able to take advantage of this opportunity that the country has provided, that each state could have its own electricity sector. Why is Lagos not taking advantage of it? Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Mr. John. Appreciate. Now the subnationals are being called out. That's an interesting one. Hello, good morning. Oh, I can barely hear you. Can you come closer to your mouthpiece so we can...
I've done that already.
All right.
Can I go ahead?
Yes, please.
This is M쏘ɪᴜᴜ speaking you from Amuodo office.
You're welcome.
On Thursday. Yes. The collapse of Greece, the committee setting up is very, very okay. And there must be fullness implement the recommendation of those committees. If we do this, it will get better. That we have this problem since 1999. When we have on power and we have no power. And the corruption, when in everything you are doing, where corruption setting, the professor will look like a tax illiterate. And that's what problem we are facing. The money for all these projects being taken away by few people, and those who are talking about, they are not being punished. Why? Go billion, go trillion, they take the cost, 10 years, 20 years, to damnation of that case. So for me, I want to come back home to our government. Lagos State, let us have our own power. We have the money. Let us have our own power. You can do it in Lagos. Collapse tomorrow, collapse today. We talk of terror, but they must be looking inward. Those who work in that ministry, are they not culpable? Because everybody is looking at free avenue to make money. That's a natural problem. Sandra, I'm praying to God to save this country. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you as well, Prince Wise. Thank you very much. I struggled all through that call, but I was able to pick one or two things. Hello, good morning.
Demonstration of Wirecast.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, Madam Sandra, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Yeah, okay. This is Barrister Peter Oku.
You're welcome, sir.
Calling from Maryland. On this issue of constant collapse of our grid system, I have a faint idea. I'm not an electrical engineer, but
this is a demonstration
I have worked
Wirecast.
in companies that deal with power issues here in Nigeria, and in Houston, although I did not work in a power company, but I know that this single grid system is
is very, very peculiar with Nigeria. I don't know why. I've never heard of a single grid in the U.S. You know, I know that in Houston, Texas, they have Houston Power and the Lighting Company. In Dallas, they have their own Dallas Lighting and Power Company. In Austin, Texas, you know, and as I'm aware, but this issue of having one single grid for a whole country is, I don't think it's feasible. You know, because when you have a single grid that carries the whole equipment, industries all over the country are in one grid. No, I think it's, yes, that's a big problem. You remember that this president, when he was governor of Lagos.
Thank you, Barrister Peter.
Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate your contribution. So let's try to stick within the 2 minutes time frame. So once you start getting prompts, it means you start wrapping things up, so we can take other submissions this morning. This is Mainland 98.3 FM, and you're on to Mainland Focus. The conversation is as regards the incessant grid collapses. What are the solutions? What are your recommendations? What are your thoughts as regards what is going on in the power sector? All right. Hello. Good morning.
Hello.
Yes. Good morning.
Of Wirecast.
Good morning. Are you with me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Samuel. I'm calling from Fᴜᴜ, please.
All right. Just go on.
With what is happening in power sector now, it's as good as Nigeria will soon go into extinction. The reason is that if the whole state of Bayelsa State could be in darkness for the past 3 months or how many, I don't know how long, 3 months, and it happened under the nose of our president. Then, by the time it happens in the whole Nigeria, nothing will happen. It means Nigeria is going to extinction little by little. For example, now, people carry it yesterday that Kebbi, Sokoto, another bandit has emerged there. In another state, the levy of 150 million by bandit to be paid. Then who is in charge of Nigeria?
Of Wirecast.
Tell me, is Mr. President in charge? They have messed up petroleum sector, insecurity has collapsed, electricity, energy is about to collapse. Then where are we? Where are we going? Who is in charge? I'm sorry. We have people that, I don't know, don't let me use foul language. They lack capacity, they lack integrity, they lack decision. They are just out to amass wealth. I'm afraid Nigerians, you have a long way to go. We have entered one chance. God bless Nigeria.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Samuel. I appreciate your contribution as well. 0913-6000-410. That is the number to call to join the conversation this morning. Okay. So help me God. Okay, so we have quite a number of messages on Facebook. I have here Basil Chika on Facebook is saying national grid collapse has become embarrassment to Nigeria, and the problem most times comes from transmission, which government choose to manage. And the question that comes to mind is why everything Nigeria government control becomes headache to citizens. NNPCL, Nigeria Railway Commission, and others are case studies. I advise they hands off totally so that Nigerians will have peace. It is quite true that when they head, it's all right. Chika Bende from Trade Fair, thank you very much. Also here, still on Facebook, I have the government is not serious about this issue of this national grid collapse. I don't see reason why keeping Adelabu because he knows nothing about that sector. Enough of playing politics with everything. And that's John Bernard Ohi sharing that one on Facebook. I also have Olumuyiwa is saying, good morning, Mainland FM. Is it possible to know the cost involved in restoring the grid anytime it collapses? It is possible some people are now cashing out from this mess because anything is possible in Nigeria. I don't know Mr. Adilabu, but Mr. President and him should sit up and take this job seriously and with sincerity. And that's Muyiwa from Abuja on Facebook sharing that one. I also have here Lukman Oladipupo. Not until we decentralize everything from states to electricity to everything. Why is it now we don't want to grow up? I am here in Dakar, Senegal, for almost 3 months and nothing like collapse of grid. Nigeria is too big to be ruled. It's okay. I said said something very interesting there. But thank you, Mr. Lukman Oladipupo in Dakar, Senegal. It's okay. All right, I also have here Anato Temitope Michael is saying on Facebook, just like President Tinubu was happy to put his name in the World Guinness Book of Records, the same way it goes now that his administration has taken the lead for having the highest number of times. No, that's not true. That is not true. No, that's not true. I think the Buhari administration had it the highest, but we're still counting for this one. Anyways, the solution is to split it into regional power grids and allow states to generate their power since autonomy has been granted to the states. I'm still expecting the outcome of the investigative panel that was set up to find out how the $16 billion was spent on the power sector during former President Obasanjo's administration. On the second focal point, there is no second focal point, but let's see what you have here. We would only continue to set up various committees, but the main point, how has the government...
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
How has the government been able to implement some of the good policies that has been provided? For instance, M쏘ɪɪl report till now is yet to be fully implemented. Thank you, Mr. Anato Temitope from Ijagemo community, sharing that one on Facebook. Let's come back to the phone line, 0913 6000 410. Okay, I lost that one. All right, we also have quite a few messages here on WhatsApp as well. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Sandra, good morning.
Good morning.
This is a demonstration.
My name is John Peters. I'm calling from Lɪਧᴇ.
All right.
Yes. Sandra, please, I want to ask you one question. What is it in Nigeria that have not collapsed? Under this APC, can you pinpoint one thing that is still standing, very tall, and is doing well? Sandra, this thing is very simple and absolute simple. You can win election by propaganda, manipulation, lies, deceit, and all that. But you can never dish out governance with propaganda. Since 2015 up to date, APC have not been dishing out governance. And when we talk about governance, it is what we are talking about now, this national grid. Maintenance of it, making sure that things are working. Not politics, but ever since these guys are in power, everything has been bastardized with politics. So that is what we are getting. Tell me what is have not collapsed under these people. Everything. The only way out is this, simple. They should know that they are in governance to dish out governance. Immediately they start the sincerity of purpose in governance. Believe you me, every town thing will continue to, every town thing will start picking. Everything will start progressing. But in as much as they continue to blame, play politics, manipulate, so this is what we will get. In the north, you see how many days they are in darkness. In Bayelsa, you see how many days they are in darkness. Look at our federal route. I told you a first-hand report of what I suffered on my logistics on the road of Nigeria from Lagos to East, some part of Benue and the rest of other things. There is no road. And you'll be asking yourself, what is going on?
All right.
Are there people who are supposed to manage these things? It's unfortunate. Thanks.
All right. Thank you very much, Don Peters. It really is unfortunate. Thank you very much. And that's why we're having this conversation. What are your recommendations? What are the solution? How can we move past this? Hello, good morning.
Hello, Sandra. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Okay, my name is Peter Omonse from Shomulu.
Okay.
Now, Sandra, before we forget, about a month ago, in one of our programs on this beautiful station, I think it was anchored by one something Ekpenyong, if I'm not mistaken. And he said something that day that either there's one country, one small country, either Costa Rica or where, I can't remember. He said there are about 5 million people in population, but they generate electricity 3 times more than what Nigeria is having today. Who are the people generating it there? Now let me remind Nigerians, Buhari told us that in 4 years' time, he was going to give us 4,000 megawatts, and including 4 new refineries. He didn't deliver that. He did not stop it in 8 years. And now somebody else, Tinubu is now coming to tell us that all this suffering, all these collapses, that we will begin to reap in 2027, preparing himself again for 2027, this calamity. This man does not pity Nigerians. He does not pity this country, Nigeria. Nigerians, let me sound this note of warning. If you believe these people that are warming up for 2027, maybe to, I don't know, maybe, I'm using the word maybe now, maybe to come and bury us because they have killed our businesses. Sandra, for how many days? I don't have light to do work. And my photography work, you go snap, come download in your system, then work on it. And I don't, then NEPA people came the other day at Shillong side, Shillong, Oseni Street, or what do we need? They were now telling us that they want to put us in Van A when we don't have light, so that they will be bringing 200,000. Can you advise me and my people what to do with this type of NEPA people? That you don't give us light, you are coming to put us in more suffering than what we are going through, so that you don't say we take laws into our hands. Nigerians advise also in that area. What do we do with this type of NEPA people? So that when you hear, you will enjoy. Sister me, finally, as of today, we are supposed to have investors that are investing in our power sector so that we can have light for our businesses. Unfortunately, the only moving business now in Nigeria is terrorism. New group emerged. So, Sandra, please have a beautiful weekend. God bless you.
It's okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Peter Omonse. I appreciate your contribution. And that's not Ekpeyo, that's Victor Achibong. Yes, probably on Voices from the Streets on a Thursday. But thank you very much. I appreciate your contribution this morning. Hello, good morning.
Your explanation did not last long until my
hello
line is speaking. Engineer Nee from Yaba, good morning to you, Sandra.
Good morning, Engineer Nee.
Yeah, thank you very much. First of all, we cannot, even if the state are producing, it's the leadership problem we are having. India, they have, most of the PRT we are using, we are produced there. And they are having windmill electricity production, producing company in their establishment. And they turn it to the national grid. Most part of it are being used with the company. The national grid is still functional. It's because they have good leadership who can coordinate effectively. Producing from state doesn't matter. Even if we produce, let us have good leadership. And if this administration is here with us, Mr. President, Mr. Minister, let us roll. In the Zimbabwe cannot come and be telling us story, the TM of Transco. Tell us story every time why the reason why our grid is collapsed. If it's not efficient enough, let us have a change of personality so that we cannot continue to blame the Mr. President and Minister all the time. Let's roll. Let them put their hands together and let them sack those people that cannot give us what we need. Over 2 months now, they are giving us light that cannot even power my cable TV, my refrigerator, and my pumping machine. I've been using petrol that is not available in my own house. Can you imagine that kind of a thing? And they are bringing me. That's when they increase my tariff. 2005 increase on my tariff.
Thank you, Engineer.
Because they didn't give us today after many efforts. We have to be checking their
All right. Thank you very much, Engineer Nee. I appreciate your contribution. 12 minutes past 9, and this is Mainland 98.3 FM. It's Mainland Focus. And to join the conversation this morning, the number to call is 0913 60410. For WhatsApp messages, it's 0913 60430. And we are live on Facebook and YouTube at Mainland 98.3 FM. We have some messages on WhatsApp. I'll just quickly run through a few of them. Good morning. My name is Pastor Ibrahim Idowu from Ijoko Gas Line, Ota, Ogun State. They have to pray for themselves that the Lord should touch their hearts so that they should do the needful, because the Lord has blessed this country already. They should do the needful. God bless you, people. And that's Pastor Ibrahim Idowu from Ijoko. It's okay. I also have Awolo Christopher from Shogunle is saying, Karl Marx will forever be right. The substructure determines the superstructure. So our corrupt leadership determines why nothing is working, including the electricity sector in focus. Solution: good leadership that will reject and really fight corruption. Alternatively, power restructuring of the polity that will decongest the center. Have a nice weekend. That's Awolo Christopher sharing that one. I also have here, good morning, Bolaji texting from Ijoko. I hear some people in authority say what we are having now is progress with these anti-people policies. My question is, if the WG-Eduns, the Bayonanugas, the Adilabus, the Wikis, and all supporters of APC are saying what we're having now is progress, then what do we call failure and retrogression? The fact is that Nigeria and Nigerians are frustrated and angry about this kind of progress. Dapo Abiodun, please fix Ijoko Agbado Road immediately after 14 years of abandonment. Thank you, Mr. Bolaji from Ijoko. Always, on course as regards, the Ijoko Road. We also have here, hi, Milan FM. The single grid system in Nigeria is laughable. We have almost all the sources to generate electricity like solar, hydro, wind, and even nuclear, if we can harness the resources such as uranium and californium. The question is, why do we depend only on one source of generating electricity? New terrorists arising, meaning more grid components will be destroyed. If we generate several sources of electricity through the listed resources above, then the grid will not be doing skipping rope all the time. In the US and developed countries, always switch their electricity source so as to cool the different sources. Or can one be driving a car constantly without powering off the engine and not expect it to overload? Decentralization of the grid is our solution. And that's Sean from Festac sharing that one on WhatsApp. I also have Matthias from Mowe. Good morning. It's really unfortunate that a man who accused other past leaders of not being able to generate electricity for roasted corn or to roast boli. The same man has recorded the worst collapse of the national grid. When President Tinubu was campaigning, he was particular about giving us light. Now nothing is coming out. See, we Nigerians should just bear all this. 2027 is close. Let's not make the same mistake again. I'm weeping for this country. And that's Matthias from Mowe sharing that one on Facebook. Then I also have here Emmanuel from Agbara. Well, let me start by saying I really enjoy. It's all right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. My submission is this. Guinness World Records should just give us an award for the nation's most collapsed power grid. All these collapses should not just waste like that. This country is just becoming so annoying every day. I pray God help me to leave this country soonest. That's my new prayer. And that's Emmanuel from Agbara sharing that one on WhatsApp. Okay. We also have here, good morning, how is work? My name is Bright, and I'm saying hello from Jos, Plateau State. All right, thank you very much. Hello to you too, Mr. Bright. Let's go back to the phone line, 0913 6000 410. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Sandra.
Good morning.
And my greetings to Mr. Fuad. So, you see, my only suggestion on how to get out of this messy situation of continuous collapsing of our grid, national grid, is by getting it right with our electoral act. Because what we needed is people that are technocrat, people that are having that desire, that will, that that vision to fix, like I want to be part and parcel of those who now fix Nigeria that have been completely been in a messy state. So we need people who can do these things right. We know most of them are just, we want to get to power. Okay, look at APC government particularly. I remember when Fᴜᴜ was telling Nigeria that this issue of this is just within a period of 6 months, they will get everything done. Now they spent almost 10 years there now. Not things are getting worse. So to show you that these people just want to say something that we want to hear, and when they get there, they continue what they are doing without even caring whether Nigeria are faring better, whether Nigeria are surviving or not. So what we needed to do now is to get it right, how to get the right people in the system, how to get away with all these greedy politicians, so that the greedy, with that GREED will start collapsing, not GRID. That is the only way to go. That is the only singular way to get out of this situation. Thank you very much.
Thank you as well. I appreciate your contribution. All right. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes.
My name is Msalā. Princess, how are you?
I'm well, thank
Madam, good. Madam, this president never comes to solve power sector problem or energy sector generally. You understand? You can't carry somebody who read geography and put you where you're sitting down without any knowledge on mass come and do your work now. You understand? You get me? Hello, ma.
Well, with you, Msalā.
He's not here. He's not joking. He's addressed this country more than 5 or 10 times. Do you ever hear him saying about anything about energy sector? Just recently he's telling us that we should be ready to buy fuel at 1,000 naira or first CNG. So that would be balanced. You understand? That is it now. So this man is not ready. He's not ready to solve our problem. Please, can someone help me and call this program now and tell me 17, 18 months of this man? Let him tell me one. I'm not asking of two. One single thing that this man has done so far that brought relief to Nigeria. We will remain like this. I could remember during his campaign, Yola or Adamawa, Taraba. He was saying that when he take over, he will give Mandela, whatever. He never done anything about Mandela now. So, madam, we are just, I don't know how we got to this level. And this demand that said that we should not pity him. This demand that is saying that he wants to be a president of this country. And he's empty completely. Oh, my God. Very unfortunate. Thank you. Have a nice weekend.
And you as well. Thank you very much. You are welcome to the studio side, Fat.
Thank you for having me, Sandra.
I don't know what Fuad's clothes are ironed. I don't know how he got to iron them, but that's all I have.
I run my own grid.
Should we come and carry?
No, it's for me only.
Should I drop your address?
It's my,
so people can
it's my personal grid.
So people can tap into it.
No, tap illegal connection.
Hello, good morning.
Madam Sandra, good morning. My name is Robert.
You're welcome, Mr. Robert.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
My own contribution is very simple and brief. Number one, I want to tell Mr. Peter Omoze, if you want to be free from NEPA issue, please go and get a prepaid meter. I was paying like 30-something, 40-something thousand every month until I get a prepaid meter. With 5,000, 6,000, I cannot do it. I'm telling you, we continue to pay like that. They will stop you. And this issue is not stable issue. It's not autonomy to generate electricity with our card. The queue will be like from here to only God knows. You have them there now. You have the other network, and they are working fine. Look at them here that they are managing. Is it working fine? If Aziz government cannot continue to manage every, is it not 4 megawatts, something like that? They have not gone under that for years. Is it not with him? Go to South Africa. There's the solution. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your contribution. Some people. We also have James Nkwachi Ogbona saying, Sandra, I greet you powerfully. Why won't the national grid continue to collapse when national grid is rising daily? It is this national grid that continues to cause the national grid to collapse. Honestly, it beats my imagination that President Tinubu would fall short of what people used to know of him when he was governor of Lagos State. Kudos to him for allowing states to start generating their own power, but in the interim, how much does it cost, or will it cost, to replace those outdated equipment compared to the billions they are siphoning? The power minister should be removed immediately. The old equipment should be replaced immediately with new ones. They should reverse fuel price so we can buy fuel in the interim when it collapses again. And that's James Ogbuna from Oshodi sharing that one on Facebook. I also have Prince Leo Ozoma. How can the national grid not collapse when we put almost every critical sector in one bag, yet all the calls for decentralization or regionalization have not been listened to? Now tell me, how you are married to 10 wives and 21 children and you are still living in one room apartment? Nigerians, free yourself by taking the right steps like other countries. Ow. Like Fuad will put grid.
Take care of yourself. Maybe that's what you say.
Leo Zama from
For anybody that runs generator now, because everywhere is so, despite the the power outage, Sandra, the whole neighborhood was quiet. In the past you see generators running, the noise and all of that. I know, wow. The fuel price no be play.
On the issue of grid collapse, it's only but a reflection of how our politicians handle critical issues and offices. Incompetent persons are appointed for political interest. As usual, the solution to every problem in the government is mechanized. Owen from Lagos, thank you. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts.
Shouldn't we feed ourselves, Owen?
It's okay. It's all right.
Yes, now. We have to feed ourselves.
We also have here Sheon JC, and that's Oluwaseun from Festac. Before you think of borrowing success from the devil, please remember to check the interest rate. That's APC government for you since 2015. I won't be surprised if someone is cashing out from this national grid collapse. New love message in town. Baby, let me be your national grid. I promise to fall for you all the time. I don't know who
that's what people are saying. You are joking with our predicament.
With our pain. I wish. Thank God you dropped this message on Facebook. We are coming for you because this is very, very painful. I'll just leave that.
So they are using it as doxology was a cliche, but we're writing poems actually. Then there was no smartphone, there was nothing, so you had to be able to really compose good poems.
So you were writing poems.
I did a number of poems.
Can you still write
but some of them failed actually to achieve the desired result.
Because you were probably saying cockroach in the cupboard. What is that? Let's come back to the conversation. Eberechukwu Theopris. Good morning, Sandra. How will grid not collapse when all appointments are based on political considerations instead of technocrats with requisite knowledge of the power sector and buildings spring up daily with no added megawatts to the national grid? The real problem is the leadership. And that's Eberechukwu Theopris sharing that one. Let's take one more call and then we'll wrap things up with a few WhatsApp messages. Good morning, Milan 98.3 FM. Oh, I lost that one. All right. Okay. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Sandra.
Good morning, Madam Ifi.
How you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
Morning, Fuad.
Good morning, madam.
I said, Nigerian factor now. They don't chop NNPC. NNPC, they owe through turnaround maintenance. They don't chop Nigerian Airways, National Shipping Line, Niger Dock, any agency watching general, they don't chop and die. Now, they are facing national grids. In the last 1 year, we read that they've spent 29 billion to keep that national grid running. Instead of it running, it's collapsing. Instead of it running, it's collapsing. And you are not telling me that some people are not suffering from it. For at least you are not a young man like that. In 1992 or 93, you remember they touched that thing during Babangida's time.
Yes.
They sacked all of them. They were dismissed. Even if it is 35, you have done 34 years, it's remaining 1 day for you to clock at 5 years in service. They were and so we were jailed for touching national grid because you want to go to strike. Now, it's a thing of joy.
All right.
You cannot tell me that some people are not eating out of it. It's only God that will judge this country.
Only God.
Thank you very much, Madam Ifi. Only God. But then, we had opportunities, or God gave us opportunities for choice to choose, and we have chosen our leaders. So what are the recommendations? What's the way forward? How do we get out of this that we have gotten ourselves into? Wale Oguntoko on WhatsApp is saying, good morning. Most of the electricity transmission lines, better known as high tension, are obsolete and need replacement. We generate almost 5,000 megawatts of electricity a day in Nigeria. But once we try to transmit above a certain threshold to distribute more, it will collapse because they are mostly obsolete. Replacing them will require massive injection of funds, which Nigeria does not have at the moment. So we should brace up for the long haul in a no electricity situation. One way the government can change the narrative is to plan a phased replacement of those transmission lines over a number of years, say 5 to 7 years. Please enjoy your weekend, and that is Wale Oguntokun from Jerry sharing that one on WhatsApp. We also have here still on WhatsApp very quickly. Okay, unfortunately we can't take that. Well, we have totally run out of time. Apologies to anyone if we're not able to take your message. It's not intentional, but thank you so much for engaging us, and thank you for being a part of the conversation. The conversation continues. Okwayemi will be in the Situation Room by 4 p.m. And of course, on Sunday, Said Fouad and his analysts will be on Political Roundtable by 6 p.m. Okay, but there are so many other programs all lined up for your listening pleasure on this dial, Mainland 98.3 FM. So please stay tuned. Thank you very much, Said Fouad.
Thank you for having me,
for your time.
Thank God it's Friday.
Why are you happy? You have erected grid behind your house.
So that should make me happy. My own personal grid. Nigerians, take care of yourself. God bless you.
For those who want Said Fouad's address, maybe you want to tap in, I can provide the address. It's just $2.5 billion, and I will provide Said Fouad's address, so we can all tap into.
No illegal connection.
No, don't worry. We know how we'll do it. Don't worry. we have connections. We have Engineer Sinatra.
I don't get greedy. I beg.
Before they come for you, don't go and track Fouad on the road and say, "Yeah, Dele."